Linda and Marie and the DAR ladies invited me to speak about the history of Hardin County. I usually start off with when Columbus discovered America, but Marie said I needed to chop it down about 300 years. So we'll go straight to the American Revolution, which was fought approximately between 1775 and 1783. And we won, by the way, and our honoree here today, Stephen Austin, was a soldier in that revolution, and so was Colonel Joseph Hardin, who fought at Kings Mountain, and for his participation in the war, he was awarded 8,000 acres of land, and 3,000 acres of that land was right here in Hardin County. Savannah sits in the center of the west end of that 3,000 acre tract that he had surveyed in 1786, just barely 3 years after the war was over. So I'm sure that was a wilderness around here. This was part of North Carolina at that time. We were the Western Territory of North Carolina. About 1788, the federal government says, North Carolina, I want you to pay your part of the debt for the war. So they said, we've got some land. So they deeded the Western Territory from the Smoky Mountains to Mississippi back to the federal government. It was called the Southwest Territory. Okay, this happened about 1790. About 6 years later, there was enough people in the Southwest Territory to form a new state, and they did. It was called Tennessee. We became the 16th state in 1796. Okay, about that time, half of the land in the state of Tennessee belonged to the Cherokees and the Chickasaw Indians. South half of Middle Tennessee and all of West Tennessee belonged to Chickasaws. So the citizens and settlers moving into this area needed land. So in 1805 and 1806, Tennessee made a treaty with these two tribes for their land in Middle Tennessee, or so they thought. Some things always go wrong. The settlers started moving south of the Duck River and west to this area, arriving here as early as 1809. And the Chickasaw Indians became excited because they still claimed the southwest corner of Middle Tennessee, which amounted to Wayne County, East Hardin, a little bit of Lawrence, Lewis, Perry counties. So in 1816, they made a second treaty with the Chickasaws. They paid them again for the same land they'd already bought. And that 1816 treaty is what prompted the 26-member Hardin Party to come here from Knox and Roane counties in July of 1860. 22 people came overland with livestock for hay. 4 people came on a flatboat down the Tennessee River. I guess they were hauling the heavy stuff like cook stoves and pianos or whatever. They all got together, came together on Hardin's Creek, at a place that was later called John B. Alton Spring. And they spent most of a year down on Hardin's Creek. James Hardin and Joseph Hardin, 2 of the sons of Colonel Joseph, were in that party. So they were still there in 1817, and by that time, Lawrence became a county. And then there was a move underway to form another county west of Lawrence that was to be called Wayne. It included Wayne County and East Hardin. We were almost Wayne County, but it didn't happen that way exactly. 200 citizens, 200 male citizens over the age of 21 signed a petition with the necessary paperwork to apply to the state to form this Wayne County. All right, it was voted on by the legislature, the House and Senate both passed it, And everything looked great, except politics got in the way. Who's ever heard of politics getting in the way of anything? Anyway, the Speaker of the Senate and the House, one or both, failed to sign the document. It never got to the governor. It never became law. There was something else going on, and what that was another treaty with the Chickasaws to obtain West Tennessee. So that occurred in 1818. And what this allowed was for Wayne County to form a county of 625, a constitutional county of 625 square miles. And at the same time, it allowed Hardin to reach across the Tennessee River and get enough land on the west side out of the former Indian Territory to form a second constitutional county of 625 square miles. Where Hardin County is concerned, that's not exactly the way it happened. There was politics still involved, but I don't have time to get into that.